And on today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at the McFarlane Movie Maniacs Series 2. We're looking at the Bride of Chucky 2-pack featuring Chucky and his wife, his bride, Tiffany. This was a 2-pack released, along with the Movie Maniacs Again Series 2. At the time that this was released, extremely rare. Let me tell you, I had a tough time finding this set. I mean, by all means now with eBay and stuff like that, these sets are easy to find, but back in the day, it was quite hard to find this set. This also represents the most requested review, review that I have received from you guys. Countless messages. Spot, when are you going to review the McFarlane Movie Maniacs Bride of Chucky 2-pack? So here it is, for your viewing pleasure. The package features, at the top we got Chucky and Tiffany on their respected corners. The Bride of Chucky down below. The poster of Bride of Chucky as well includes movie poster replica. On the side there, we've got McFarlane and Movie Maniacs. On the back, other figures from Series 2. Quite actually a really decent wave for Movie Maniacs. We had Michael Myers, we had Norman Bates, we had Ghostface, Pumpkinhead, Eric Draven, the Crow, Child's Play 2, Chucky, and of course the 2-pack Bride of Chucky down below as well. You can go to www.spawn.com or www.mcfarlane.com for more news and figure information. On the side, got says, of course you know I have you, but every now and then I like to find a special way to tell you. So again, and at this anniversary, I'd like to tell you too how happy and can't even tell what that says. It's got, obviously, it has blood all over it, so I don't think it's intended that you can read all of it, but I want to say depressed, but that doesn't say depressed. I felt to have you, have your love and you, with all my love. And there's a couple of wedding rings there. Aww. So there you go. On a side note as well, not that anyone really cares, but this box did not actually have this. I added this at the top. I just glued it on so I could actually hang this on my wall. Why I'm pointing this out to you, I really don't know, but I'm just throwing it out there. Oh, on the undersiding as well, there's other figures. Dark Ages, Spawn, there's Austin Powers, Ozzy Osbourne, The Beatles, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, and Techno Spawn. This is one of the last figures also, 3 minutes in, and Spot hasn't even opened this up. This is also one of the last few pieces of my collection that I had from my original collection. I pretty much sold everything that I had except for the Bride of Chucky 2-pack. So this represents the first, I guess the second wave of my collecting before I got into the real collecting of figures. So this is very nostalgic. This is my original figure. I didn't re-buy this or anything. At any rate, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. I'm going to get this opened up, and we will have a look at the 2 figures that make up this set. There's more on the way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And we have them out of package. Before we actually look at the figures themselves, as with any Movie Maniac figures, at least the older waves that is, you get yourself a very nice poster stand. A stand made of bones and skulls. Oh, Todd McFarlane, you crazy guy. And there's a poster of the Bride of Chucky. Chucky gets lucky. The honeymoon's gonna be killer. Oh, I get it. Right, because he's a killer. But these, unfortunately, something that is kind of overlooked nowadays. The figure stands that came with Movie Maniacs. They kind of made for a nice showpiece. If you have it in the background like that, for example, you have the figures in the front, it really makes them look nice. It makes them look nice, and you can say, hey, what movie is this from? Oh, Bride of Chucky. Something that, unfortunately, again, is not done unfortunately nowadays, which is a bit of a shame. Accessories that come with the two figures. He does come with a knife. Zoom in. Fairly nicely painted. I mean, it's not too bad. The handle is a little splotchy, but for what it is, it's not really that bad. Serrated edge. So this is more of a bread knife. Other accessories that you can get in this set is a bottle of champagne. And finally, the one thing I don't think any person who, well, you might, one thing that I think most collectors probably have lost in the span of collecting these two is this right here. Spot, what is that? What is that? That, my friends, is a very tiny cigarette. A very, very tiny cigarette. And I'm sure, I've already jinxed it, I'm sure, by saying this, but I'm sure even after I shoot this review, I'm going to lose this cigarette. The cigarette, you can actually take Tiffany's arm and you can sandwich. Sandwich, I could really go with the sandwich right about now. But you can sandwich the cigarette in between her fingers, like so. Yes, I would definitely say, I know I'm going to do it. If you have taken this out of the package recently, maybe get yourself a Ziploc baggie and put all the accessories in there, including that cigarette. Because that cigarette, my friend, is going to get lost. It is totally going to get lost. So I'm just going to actually take the cigarette. Like, one more look. Don't blink. You might miss it. I'm going to put the cigarette on the side. I can see it right from here, so hopefully it means I'm not going to lose it and I'm not going to forget it. Alright, so having said that, let's have a look at the two figures that make up this set. One thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to compare this to the Seed of Chucky set from NECA. Just again to give you guys a comparison between the two. Let's have first a look at Chucky here. One thing can be said, I've always loved the design of the Bride of Chucky Chucky figure. I always like the fact that he's got this staples, he's got his under skeleton, I guess, partially exposed, and Tiffany has just stapled his doll flesh back together, trying to keep him intact, stapled his hair in there. You definitely would not mistake him for a regular doll, let me tell you. But as a character in a movie, he looks really cool. I love the look of Chucky from the Bride of Chucky and then the Seed of Chucky movies. And his hair is all over the place, as you can see here as well. If I zoom back, show you guys the good guy's outfit that he's wearing. Similar to his face, as you can see, it's ripped to shreds. It's quite dirty. You got areas where the fabric has been ripped open. Even his hand has been stapled back together. You got tears in the legs, a really big gash running the chest area of Chucky there, running all the way down. McFarlane, I think, did a fantastic job on this figure. Chucky's yellow teeth. You know what? Let's zoom in. Hey, let's look at Chucky's yellow teeth. Everybody, hey, everybody look. Chucky's yellow teeth. For an old figure, really did a good job on the sculpt of Chucky here. As Spot was saying earlier, I'm going to compare it. Just for giggles, I'm going to compare it, here he is, to the NECA Chucky from the Seed of Chucky set. Unfortunately, nothing has changed. Yes, I still got the broken arm on the one side. Oh, it's so sad. Depending on when I'm shooting this video and when I'm well, I know when I'm shooting it right now, but depending on when I upload this video, I'm also going to be doing a throwback on the Seed of Chucky set. So, child's play across the board, guys. You're welcome. Comparing the two, I think this is a cooler looking design of Chucky. It's a cooler looking design of Chucky. The one thing I've always said about the Child's Play figures from McFarlane, though, is that I always found the skin was a bit off, coloring wise. Between the two, I think the McFarlane is a lot cooler looking of a Child's Play figure. But the coloring on the NECA Chucky, I think, is much nicer. Now, if only they had done, if NECA or McFarlane had redone this figure, but with this coloring, I think it would have made a perfect Chucky figure. So it's one of those cases where I think it's cool to have both, just kind of as you can see the difference between the two. But it should be pretty apparent between the two that this one is a little off-colored. Right? So we're going to move Chucky out of the way here. In the way of this Chucky's articulation, his head can rotate left and right. It's a bit squishy in the head too there, I've noticed. He also has a waist swivel. He has a swivel in the shoulders. He has a swivel in the wrist. And it appears to be no swivel or anything in the legs or feet. Pretty much staction from the waist down. There's absolutely no movement whatsoever. I really like this Chucky. I really actually should have reviewed him last of the two, because he's the better of the figures if you ask me. Again, the coloring is a little off. I prefer the coloring of the NECA a little bit more, but I think of the two, this is definitely the better of the two figures. The Chucky here, I'm going to give a 7.5 to. 7.5 to Chucky. Let's say maybe we get the knife in his hand. There we go. I'm going to put him right there. You can set the scene while I'm reviewing Tiffany. Moving along to Tiffany, on the other hand, I think Tiffany, unfortunately, is the weaker of the two figures. Yes, the face sculpt isn't bad. Face sculpt, it could be said, is decent enough. And something I mentioned in actually the throwback of the Seed of Chucky set, one thing I do like is the fact that not only in that set, but also in this set, they went the route of doll hair. Clearly a case where you could not have done this hair in plastic and had done the figure justice. It would have just looked like a big mold. But having real doll hair, I think, only adds to the detail on the figure itself. It's not as bad on Chucky, but I do find the off color is more predominant on Tiffany, where it does seem a little off. Case in point, oh, another broken arm. I'm going to bring in, zoom the camera out, zoom out, zoom out. I'm going to bring in the Tiffany from the Seed of Chucky set, and it's more apparent, I think, when you get these two together that you can see, yes, the Tiffany from the Seed of Chucky is a lot nicer in coloring than perhaps the Bride of Chucky figure. Now, one thing could be said is that the Bride of Chucky Tiffany at least comes with a nice leather jacket, whereas the Seed of Chucky Tiffany unfortunately does not. But I think coloring-wise, it's pretty apparent that the NECA's version is a lot nicer than the coloring in the McFarlane one. Right? Okay, so we move her out of the way. Something I mentioned earlier, well, not really that long ago, is that she comes with she's wearing a leather jacket, which I think is really, really neat. She's also got herself some fishnet stockings, which are actually real mesh, which is kind of neat. But I find this figure is just all right. I mean, for me, again, the real win is the Chucky here. But again, this is the first time we got a Tiffany, so it made sense to get this 2-pack. In the way of her articulation, she has the swiveled head. She has a swivel in the shoulders, both arms. She has a swiveled hand. She has swivel waist. And unlike Chucky, she actually has swiveled shoes, What that really does for a figure that has a skirt on anyways, your guess is as good as mine, but she does have that as well. Just mess up her hair a bit. Killers don't have nice looking hair, come on. Again, this is a weaker figure for me. If they had not ever released the NECA Tiffany, unfortunately we would be out of luck. This would be the only way to get a Tiffany. But now, having seen the coloring on the other one, it's very apparent that this one is definitely off-colored. Still a good figure, but I think I like the NECA just a little bit more. This Tiffany I'm going to give a 6 to. Not a bad sculpt, just unfortunately misses a bit on coloring. So there you go, guys. Most requested review on this channel. Hopefully I've delivered this well enough to satisfy all your expectations. You're welcome. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the McFarlane 2-pack, the Bride of Chucky 2-pack, featuring a very cool Chucky and a just alright Tiffany. By the way, I've also haven't forgotten the cigarette is still here. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more Toy Spots on the way, and I will see you guys next time.